Welcome back to Tolkien on Tap.
I'm about to get another bottle.
But I'd be remiss to not
Jesus.
comment also about Always and DQO.
Okay.
And basically,
Please.
Lesson Ore had systemic racism. Like
Of
if you're
course.
not part of the Southern Sindarin group, you are deemed lesser than. You see that from the moment the dwarves arrive. It's in the published Silmarillion too, as far as that they thought their language was harsh, or not beautiful, which is a form of which is xenophobic as shit. And they thought that they were ugly looking. They called them the stunted people, which it's expanded upon in I don't know how many times I've referenced it this year alone, but this might even be my new one. But Quenya the Eldar and the War of the Jewels again, like we get more clarification about that they call them.
Wait, David, what text is it in?
History of Middle Earth, Volume 11, War of the Jewels, the chapter of the Quenya and the Eldar.
Wait, which volume?
Volume 11.
But what's the name of that volume?
The War of the Jewels.
Oh, okay. I just need to make sure. I don't think I've ever heard you bring that up. Ever.
Really?
Are you kidding?
Serious? I was like,
I'm kidding. I've also had 3 shots.
But yeah, I mean, as far as like
I'm about an hour and a half into this recording, and I'm like, I'm gonna get fucked up tonight.
The Sindar of Lessenore calling them Nalgrim, the stunted folk, behind their back.
Yeah.
Now, Tolkien does not write that this is explicitly a racial slur or a racial epithet, but it's clear.
It gives it off.
It gives it off because it is supposed to be demeaning towards them, because they have another word that they call the dwarves to their face. They call them the Hathadrim. They call them the Hathadrim, is like, and that's more of the Sindarin cognate of what the dwarves call themselves, the Khazad, right? That's why in Quenya the Noldor call them, Kasari. No, Khazad, Kasari, Hathadrim.
Sorry, that's the word. Okay.
That's the Quenya word. So
like a terrible
Sindarin, it's the Hathadrim. That's what they call when they're in dialogue with the dwarves directly. But when they're not in dialogue with the dwarves and they're talking about the dwarves, they call them the Nalgrim. Which is, I mean, I don't know how else to take that or interpret that as far as it not being a racial epithet.
I got to be honest, it's very interesting. I guess I'd have to know the makeup of Britain at the time Tolkien was growing up and writing.
Well, I feel like the way Tolkien writes it, he's basically giving you, like, because from what I've been reading, he puts in a lot of his experiences into the words that he writes. So even like I believe so, because I would not. I mean, the way I've heard about racial tensions over in Britain, especially like dealing like with Black folks and all all those other types of races. I believe that they did. Like, I'm like just because what I'm learning is that a lot of even the racial tensions that we have over here was definitely over in Tolkien's time.
That's what I'm getting at, is like, was the N-word as prevalent? I don't know. I sound like an idiot. But I feel like I sound like an idiot. But like, truthfully, I don't know, because you know how long it took me to understand like the American history of that word?
No,
it took me until I was in my mid-20s to realize what the fuck was going on.
So despite having the same consonant, Nalgrim and the N-word, I don't think that Tolkien necessarily is trying to draw that parallel.
That's not what I mean. Okay. I'm talking about the fact that like in the literature, it's behind their back, and in real life America, it was to their face with a fucking whip or a gun.
I think it's partly because of, again, Tolkien's context of being an Oxford Don, right? So he would have had access to different varying degrees, despite his own upbringing, as far as being basically raised by a Catholic priest,
right?
Being in the circles to where I could easily see him having dealt with, experiencing seeing how people talk, from the, more posh, Tory type class, and seeing how they speak to one another about certain people versus how they speak to them while they're like in direct contact. I can definitely see that. From a class level down to even like I think even a racial level. I'm pretty sure that would be the case too.
I was trying to find because I remember seeing somewhere like about how they had like a type of I guess segregation during the 20th century. I'm trying to remember where I saw it. It was I'm gonna have
in
to
Britain.
find it. Yeah, it was like because I know they've especially with different
I
cultures.
didn't know we were gonna go down this road. Otherwise, I would have asked Lee to be here.
Oh yeah.
Hold
Oh,
on,
yeah.
should we just get her on the phone real quick? Hold on. It is 3 a.m.
3 in the
by her.
morning, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Nope.
she's definitely
Can't do
asleep.
that. Can't do that. She's sleeping.
I mean, well,
Lee, if you're listening to this, we thought of calling you and we decided to let you sleep. You're welcome.
I mean, there's different ways too that it gets into that too, because in the UK, it's there's the Irish, right? You know, the whole Irish question. There's hell even with Italians, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by the Irish question. It's not like my family's. I don't like doing that. I feel gross doing that. I'm not gonna do that ever again.
And so like,
you guys ever want to see a trans person who's pretending not to be trans do something masculine and get really grossed out by them doing it? That's what just happened.
I'm about to say.
By the way, speaking of small acts of,
I don't even like doing that at times. So
speaking of small acts of resistance, David, keep saying what you're saying. I will be right back.
Yeah, no, like just as far as like, getting into those aspects where it doesn't even have to be other like what we would call different races now, but even with different nationalities or ethnicities, right? Especially with the Irish, I could easily see that being a thing that Tolkien may have witnessed as far as with the way,
absolutely,
Irish people are talked to their face versus how they're talked behind their backs. It's something that happens, I think throughout all kinds of civilizations and countries, and then doesn't make it right at all. Because and I think it's kind of like coming from the background that I come from, like reading that text in the Quindi and the Elder, I'm like, oh, like that's just flat out racism, especially when like the first sentence or like the first couple sentence of that text in that section is literally saying, oh, the dwarves and the Sindar of the South were only friends based off of like commerce. It was a quid pro quo relationship that they had, and then it says, oh yeah, they called them Hothadrim to their face, but then behind their back they called them Naugrim, the stunted folk, which was not supposed to be a nice thing. And it's like, okay, yeah, I honestly I see what's going on. Like I don't know how else it could ever be, and that's why it's crazy to me that people can read that and not come to that conclusion.
Yeah, and and if I've seen racial discrimination, I've heard some about what goes on, like what happened in Britain, especially the way the treating of the, like you said, of the Irish, and how they I guess Britain and I guess Great Britain, it was like this racial discrimination of class, I think of class systems and things like that. I can't remember exactly everything that went about it, but I like the way Tolkien wrote it and kind of hearing that history. Of course, I mean it's there, it's prevalent, but the fact that they had a name that they called them in front of those, in front of the dwarves versus in the behind, just I felt like you not like a lot of that kind of went back and forth with the oh god, I had the word and I lost it. Damn it. I don't know. I feel like I'm screwing up tonight, guys. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No, Zay, I can listen. I'm not a doctor, but I could probably diagnose you right now with ADHD.
Yeah, I do have ADHD, and I need to get a diagnosis. Annoying as fuck.
No, you don't. Listen, as someone with a diagnosis, it's what good is it going to do in your 30s? Because I got mine in my 30s, and you know what it did for me? Zero things.
I'm sorry. I feel like every time I open my mouth, I'm diverting the conversation. I'm
no,
sorry.
Zay, no,
no,
my friend, stop.
I don't feel that shit at all, to be honest. I feel like that's more me than anything.
That's the whole point of the podcast, is to we're at friends at a pub hanging out talking. Conversations diverge. Why do you think I don't cut out the tangents? I cut out when personal things happen. That's the spoiler alert for those who don't know how I edit. If it's personal, it's not going in here. If it's not personal, it's staying the fuck in here. The only other things I cut are pregnant pauses. So conversations happen real fast in my podcast. They don't actually happen when you're here because it takes a minute for us to what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I don't have a script. That pause that just happened, which you probably won't realize was there, because I edited it out. That's how it works. Also, small active resistance. I put my wig on. This is Tara. Hi.
Beautiful Tara.
But also, I don't have my makeup on, so I feel like I just look like, I don't know, like fucking a dude with a wig.
Do you prefer going by Tara now too? I know you when you had posted that on Threads.
Yeah.
You know what? I like them both.
Okay.
I do. I don't mind.
I'll start calling you Tara if you want me to.
I don't mind either, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, cause I don't know. I'm starting to. Speaking of small acts of resistance, I'm gonna bring it back to where we were real quick. A small act of resistance in the Scouring of the Shire is they're not allowed to make fires at night. They make this giant fucking fire in like the middle of town in Hobbiton. I don't know if it's actually Hobbiton. I think it's outside of Hobbiton. It's like by Bagshot Row. And everyone else goes and hides while the sheriffs and ruffians come up, and it's just Tom Cotton standing there in front of the fire, and the ruffians go, "What are you doing here?" And he goes, "Having a fire." And then slowly, sneakily, everyone comes up behind them and goes, "Hey, fuck you." Dude, I think there's like 5 or 6 of these like ruffians. They go, "Hey, fuck you, put your shit down and go over there. We're gonna tie you up. And if you come after us, we're going to shoot you. We don't want to, but if you come after us, we're shooting you." And only one of them goes to attack them and ends up after like 2 steps with 6 arrows in his back. He dies. The others go, "You know what? We're going to go over there and we're going to sit down. If we need to tie us up, that's fine." But so this is just my small act of resistance. My partner, so both of you are friends with me on other socials. You've seen me talk about how I was looking for cis and trans women memes, and I was finding a lot of hate. And my partner saw that and was like, "Oh, really? Fuck you. I'm going to find all the cutest things in the world," and sent them to me.
Nice.
Yeah. And then she has doubled down by doing it on every single social we share. She's the fucking sweetest person in the entire world. Yeah. And so she sent me something, I think it was yesterday, where it was this trans woman who she thought that she had masculine features. I did not, but this was her video, and she was saying like, "Listen, I think like I look really masculine, and like, you know, like I'm really girly, so you know, this is my resistance. I'm gonna have long hair. I'm gonna have nails. Fuck them." And I was like, I need to be braver. I'm not brave enough. I'm terrified to get hurt, so I'm not doing things that I should do that will make me just happy. And she sent me that, and I went, and all I said to her was, "I need to be braver." And she went, "You do you in your own time." And I was like, "God damn it, I need to be braver."
That's absolutely, especially within this aspect of like resistance. I mean, tying that all together too, like you know, if you know, it's kind of that balance between encouragement, not even pushing. I don't even use the word pushing, but encouraging your friends to, you know, encouraging them to be braver, but at the same time acknowledging like, yeah, they're also do that in your own time.
Yeah,
you don't.
And it's difficult.
Because it's acknowledging. It's kind of you know, it's holding in tension those different things. Like, yeah, we all need to be braver, but at the same time, we all have our own different. We all have our own either, you know, different things in our lives that affect that, different circumstances that affect that, you know, different intersections that we have that affect all these things. And so like there is room for both encouragement of one another to be braver, but also not being judgmental about it, not shaming each other for it. Because I think a lot of the shame culture comes from oppressive, dominating forces. We're not trying to shame other people for things that are not causing harm. Shame people for the negative shit that they do. Shame people for the oppressive shit that they do.
See, and that's the thing is this culture doesn't do that shit.
If you have, you know, again, and I'll say this right now, if you have, you know, family members who are nice, shame them until they quit. If not, dox their ass.
Oh my God. Yes, David. Thank you so much.
Like,
yes, I am against doxing unless you're nice.
Yeah. Like, if you're a white supremacist, if you're a Nazi, if you're ICE, your ass needs to be doxed. No, like, and I'm sorry.
Actually, especially after the fucking interview from yesterday, where old boy was comparing the word Nazi to the N-word and saying we're gonna reclaim it. No.
I was like, anybody that still listens to Fox News in 2025 is a total
I could not listen. I listened to that as a
whatever ass
that interview as a white person. I could not understand
if
as a black person hearing that going like you, because I'd have been like, "You son of a bitch." I'm gonna find you.
At this point, being a black person in this situation, and I feel like I need to relate from that a little bit more to kind of loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, do it.
I feel like I'm kind of holding myself back and saying the things I want to
say. Say before you say this, I wanna wholeheartedly tell you.
Yeah.
Embrace what you feel in your heart. That's what I want you to talk about tonight. Like I want whatever's in your heart. Fuck it, let it out. If you feel like it needs to be cut later, you tell me, that's fine. But I want you to like tell me how you actually feel. That's the whole point of resistance. Is don't hold shit back.
Okay, and all right, not holding anything back. Like when I heard that whole Fox News, it made me roll my damn eyes because it was basically some white shit. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Yeah. It's some white shit. Because one, if the fact that you can go and actually use a word that is universally around the world known for just doing horrendous shit and trying to talk about reclaiming, you're just a fucking dumbass. I'm just gonna say it like that. Because one, especially the group of people who used to put people in these cafeteria room incinerators and separate, like kind of what they're trying to do now, and separate families and kill millions of people, and you're trying to find a way to reclaim a word of a group of people who destroyed millions of lives. I don't understand how we get to this point where we're trying to reclaim stupid things and things that that destroy lives and destroy people. Like, I don't understand how we got to this point in humanity where people just don't care about other human beings. I would have to say, like, my act of resistance was coming after, actually, I would say after this election. It really, it's because I felt like you have to fight back against these evil powers, whatever the hell you want to call them, but you have to fight back because I was part of that group of people that was naive. I tried to keep the way I was raised in a Christian evangelical household, just whatever name you want to call it. It was that, but it blocked me off for certain things. And my way of resisting is just putting all that aside and figuring out how to love people more. Because I mean, like being in a Christian household growing up, being gay was ostracized, being in this ostracized group. Like, we don't talk about them. We just, pray for the best, do this, that, and all that bullshit. I'm totally done with that at this point in my life. But it like coming from that whole Christian lifestyle that I don't even really associate with much, but I have to because of work and things like that in my life. I kind of have to, but I don't associate it with it personally. But to the point where you start messing with people's humanity and started treating them because you think they're less than, that's why I have a problem with you. Yeah. And then just finding a way to love people more. That's where I am mostly in my life. Like, I know I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but hey,
no, you're not rambling. You're not rambling. You're not
rambling.
But
you're not rambling at all. You actually really touched me, Zay, because I'm over here like honestly fighting tears back because like I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
especially when you talk about like being raised in an evangelical household.
Yes,
I was not an evangelical. I don't think I could have been. I don't know. I don't know if Church of Christ. I don't know if Church of Christ is.
Tell you. I don't
know if Church of Christ is considered evangelical, but like
church. Wait, what did you say?
Church of Christ.
Oh shit! Not you too.
I don't know if it's considered the same as like the main.
No. I know exactly. Because my ex
Southern, I'm talking about like Southern, no music in church, Church of Christ. Yes, there's different types of Church of Christ.
DJ, yeah, when I say I know that shit more than you know.
I'm over here like weeping, by the way, Zay.
I know
my soul so deeply because I understand exactly what you were saying, especially when you're talking about like you're not allowed to be gay. Not that I was a gay kid growing up. Like, I had affection for everybody. Like, I had attraction to everyone, but I also. I don't know if you could tell, because of my mom and my aunt and my grandmother, Not to say that my dad and my uncle and my cousin weren't around, my cousin Adam. I had these three powerful women. And like I grew up in a matriarchal society. My grandmother was the matriarch.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like,
and I don't
know if I was born into feeling that way, or if I saw that and I like just, I don't know. But something in my mind went like, Nana, I want to be like you. Nana was what I called my grandmother. Nana, I want to be like you. I want to be as smart as you. I want to be everything that you are, including a woman.
Right. No, and I'll tell you, I understand that because growing up, I didn't have a father in my life. I was a kid that was adopted by a lovely woman who's now 95 years old now. And she was my world. She was everything who I knew, like everything I wanted. Like I wanted to make her proud. That was who I was. And now, even though I know she didn't mean it any harm, I know it's what she knew. It's how she grew up and how the system that taught her was pushed on to me. But at least now I got to the point where I can actually push back and actually be like, no, I don't accept this about like being LGBT. Like I had to come to my realization about a few years ago that I'm bisexual. I like guys. I like women. I like them both. I think guys are attractive. I think they're amazing too. And I had to.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like you have to be pretty boring to think that it's only male and female. It's only male and female. No, it's a freaking spectrum. And I had to find my own place on that spectrum. So me fighting like I guess now everything's finally starting to come out the way it's supposed to.
So don't cut this?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So I did want to add this thing because I come from similar, like I grew up Southern Baptist, even my undergrad was a Southern Baptist private university. My parents have been pretty much, voted Democrat my entire life. So it was always grew up with think critically about everything, right? To the fact to where like I studied theology, both in my undergrad and in my master's. And
I didn't realize that you grew up Democratic-ish or left-leaning, also went to like theology school. Yeah. So that's a surprise to me on this podcast. Hey guys, exclusive on Tolkien on Tap.
So that's why like when George and I were talking at Westwood, we're like, oh yeah, like literally our backgrounds are kind of the exact same as far as when George was describing his parents, as far as like, oh yeah, like we grew up in like evangelical churches and all that. And like at the same time, our parents were very much progressive.
It's really funny that God damn it, the amount of times that probably happened, because like aside from the racism that my grandfather taught to my dad, who then tried to teach to me, he did teach to me, and I had to unlearn it. Full disclosure, I had to unlearn that shit. But my parents were also pretty fucking progressive, so that's such a weird, like that's the thing about like the progressive back in like at least the 80s, because I was born in 85. Not to cut you off, David.
No.
Bookmark where you were at. We'll get back to that in a second.
All right.
I had a friend, Corey. I'm not going to say his last name just in case. My friend Corey, I remember like vividly, like walking to the community pool and talking about like, I don't understand race. Like why, like we look different. Who cares? I remember having this conversation with my friend Corey, going to a pool together. And then I grew up and I heard the way my dad talked about every race. It wasn't just black people. It was Mexican people. It was black people. It was Jewish people. It was anyone who wasn't white. And that seeped into my heart. And I said some shit I never should have said ever. And then I grew even older and I went back to listening to people instead of like, let me just push this onto other people so like hate doesn't come to me, because that's what it was. I heard what my dad was doing and going, oh, I can push all this hate away from me. And so I did. I'm not gonna lie. I said shit I should never have fucking said.
But I think it's the fact that you knew it was wrong. I think that you knew that like it was, even though you were exposed to it, you knew deep down you knew it was wrong. And that really gets me to thinking that everybody has that moment.
But I'm gonna tell this story because I want everyone, specifically white people, because I'm a white person. I want every white person to know that you can grow. You're allowed to learn, man. Like just because just because I told the first part of the story doesn't mean like the middle part doesn't exist, right? Because the middle part is like I said the fucking N-word. I fucking like did the like so we had a drinking game where we would say like it was say the most stereotypical thing you can say for whatever race. And I grew up around a ton of black people. And so that was the stereotype because that was the predominant other race. You know, and we weren't ever intrinsic. We're fucking white. We're not intrinsic. What are you talking about? Intrinsic. What's the fucking word? Introspective. But then I got away from that group of people, and ironically, like 3 other of those people did the same thing I did, where they started just listening to other people of different cultures and different races and going like, oh fuck, I fucked up. And so like they're like loudly on social media is like, fuck you. If you don't appreciate like different races, if you can't like see the beauty in diversity, you know. But I'm telling the story because like you're allowed to change, because I went from I don't understand race, which because race is a fucking social construct. Of course a child doesn't understand that, because I was maybe 9 when I said that to my friend Corey. I don't know how old you are when you're 9. I know how old you are when you're what a weird sentence. I know how old you're. I don't know what grade I was in when I was 9. It was around there. And then like late middle school to high school, actually till like I was 25. I was 25. I was still saying stupid shit. And then I started just listening instead of talking, because I'm a fucking obviously I have a podcast. I'm a talker. I started listening, and once I listened, I went, oh, son of a bitch. Okay, I'm gonna back up and let you guys do this, and I'll just support, which is part of the reason I didn't like do social media like what I do now then, because I did shit I shouldn't have done. And like I guess like apology right now to everyone who's ever heard me say that, and even those who haven't, because like I should have never, because it's fucking vile as fuck. But also I understand if you're taught that shit, it's so easy to fall into that. It is so easy to be brainwashed by that shit. It is so easy to be brainwashed by that shit, especially the fucking kid.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like that change was like early junior high, middle to early junior high. So I never thought this podcast was gonna end up like me like having to come clean about how terrible I used to be. But you know, whatever. You live and you learn.
But no, I mean it's no.
But that's the thing. That's the other thing though. I'm sorry. Say, go ahead.
No, but I was saying that you're the fact that you're willing to be transparent with this, because
I have to be.
You have to be, and that's the thing. You realize that, but there are still a lot of people who look like you that don't necessarily feel that way, and they feel like, well, it's me. I own that shit. But yeah, but
no.
Thank you for what I'm trying to say is don't thank you for that transparency, because now we get to like when I hear stories like from other people of color when it comes to especially about dealing with others like in the black experience and what they've said and things like that, it feels like there is hope for more people to come out and realize that, because I feel like we're at the point now where if you just want to be a fucking racist, you're going to be that. But if you have that remorse, we love to see that, because guess what? That eventually grows into the community that we're trying to build.
Like the advocacy.
Yeah, it's advocacy. Well, like that intersectionality, all that. It's like we can meet across and meet at that moment where, yeah, I recognize I was a piece of shit for doing these such things, and I'm apologizing because I want to learn more. Now, if we do that more, if we keep around that road, we can get to the place we want to be. But once again, yeah,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Finish. No, I want you to finish first.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like now, because especially coming from the black perspective, like the way I grew up, I was friends with everybody. I tried to be friends with everybody, but it didn't matter what skin color, who you were. I was a friendly person, but as life went on, I started to see the ugliness of race and just prejudice and things like that, to the point I had to start keeping myself in. Like I gotta admit, like like I said, be living down here in the South, you really do have to keep.
How old were you when you moved up there?
Oh, I've been here about 22 years. I was about 10. Well, if I count that year I lived in Texas, I was about.
Were you in elementary or middle school?
I think I was just in the starting elementary when we did eventually come down here to the South. That was like in 2002. So if you ever heard me talk about my story of how I first came in contact into Tolkien in Houston, that was right around that time we first came down.
Okay. I was just trying to gauge like how old you were.
Yeah, that's fine. I was about 10 years old. So being exposed to this whole Southern experience for about the last going on 24 years at this point, it's a very different experience, especially like you have your experience with, being around Black folks. But for us, me was white folks. Now it feels like, especially when I was in high school and things like that, we felt like we had to be careful.
Oh, dude, it's so different because like I grew up in the Chicagoland area. I'm not in Chicago. I'm in the suburbs. And Zay's talking about like moving from the north because you're from the New York City area to the south to Georgia.
Right. Yeah, and it's such a stark difference. Like like that conversation we had with New Better when you guys were in town.
Yeah.
And how, there were certain things that were said that he said you can say up there, but you can't say necessarily down here and things like that. It's a very different experience. And getting to that, and especially how white and Black folks kind of, interact, we kind of take it with a bit of caution. Because we we'll get to know to trust you, but can we really trust you in the things that you say and do? Because eventually the truth is always going to come out.
Oh yeah.
The truth is always
reveal themselves.
So that's the thing for me. Like I'm mixed. I'm Black Salvadoran. It's my mix. I grew up with my both sides of the family, predominantly more on like the Black side culturally. Thanksgiving with the Black side and everything like that. I don't speak Spanish. I can understand a little bit based off of, stuff here and there. But that was the interesting thing, being in, public school or being at other just schools and institutions and hearing people who are not Black, who don't think or don't know that I'm Black and hearing the things that they say. And it's like, oh, you're a racist piece of shit. Like, like I see you for what you are. Like, you think no Black people are around, but I mean,
you have like that secret agent type of thing. Like,
I was gonna say, David, you got that, like, ha, motherfucker, what am I? Am I Mediterranean?
There's a
no, I'm not.
A graphic novel by another light-skinned Black person called Incognito, and so I'm like, oh yeah, that's.
I was thinking that. Damn it, that was the word I was trying to say.
I was like,
that's amazing.
Incognito right now, as far as like, nah, don't trust that motherfucker right there. Like, but also like, I'm gonna really have to fight somebody right now because this is.
No, but like, and that's the thing. Is like, because like, wow, I am inebriated. I just realized the words I said in the order I said them. Anyways, because it's not just like the racial hatred that was ingrained in me that I had to unlearn. It was also the queer hatred that I had to unlearn. Because like Zay said, growing up in a Christian family, like my dad is a non-practicing Catholic. My dad didn't say a goddamn thing about religion unless I brought it up, and I didn't bring it up to him until I was fucking in my 20s.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was my like late teens. Regardless, my mom, my grandmother, who those two predominantly raised me, because my dad was at work a lot. I'm not saying he was around. My dad loved me a lot, but like predominantly my mom and my grandma were the ones who raised me. Strongest fucking women I've ever met. Where was I going with this? Zay, please help me.
You were trying to say, I think you were trying to say
the queer stuff.
Shit, yeah.
Yep. Thank you. So my grandmother grew up in Shiloh, Tennessee, which was like a pivotal battle of the Civil War, if you're not aware, which is where the North started finally winning.
Oh, so Confederacy. Got it.
Well, I mean, they were. I don't know. I don't know the. I don't really know the makeup. I know what I've been told, and I don't know if it's true. Because what I was told was like everyone who worked on the farm was paid, but also white people told me that, so they could be wrong. Yeah. Listen, if we're gonna get bare bones, I'll get bare bones. Whatever.
Yeah, let's go for it. We already there.
Yeah, I was to my white people. That's what it was. So I don't know for sure. However, that's where my grandmother grew up. She left when she was around 20. She married in the South. I think she was 20 when she married. I think she moved to the North when she was 25. No, she moved to the North when she was. No, she got married when she was 18. She moved to the North when she was 27, something like that. It doesn't matter. It only matters to me because like my aunt and uncle's ages. Oh yeah. So I'm sorry, everyone. Welcome to me remembering where I was in my conversation. So it's not Southern Baptist, but it's really close. So Zay, I said Church of Christ earlier, and you went, "Oh yeah, them."
Yeah, because my ex's my ex and my ex's family all in Church of Christ. When I tell you I understand that struggle, I get it. I really get it.
So for those who don't know, I grew up in a church where musical instruments can walk into the building but cannot be played
right
where the altar is for or like where the congregation meets. Every other part of the building is fine except for there, which would technically, if you were Catholic, be called the sanctuary.
Oh, it's called that in Southern Baptist Convention.
Oh, it is too?
Yeah, the sanctuary is like where the main like preaching worship aspect.
Okay. So I know Catholicism and I know Church of Christ because I converted Catholicism because I really thought that if I did that, my wife would stay with me instead of leaving me.
No.
Anyways, so my grandmother's super religious. My mother, super religious.
Got that.
And so I experimented when I was like, it actually started when I was really fucking young. Do you need a break, Dave?
No, I'll still be listening.
3 hours later.
So yeah, so like this paper that I wrote, kind of gets in this topic mainly, and I was thinking this when you were talking, Zay, about kind of the queer phobia or the homophobia that goes on and the transphobia that goes on within Christianity as far as like, especially from a Black community perspective, right? Because like on my dad's side, my grandfather, my big daddy, and my big mama were like pastors within a Black Baptist congregation. And so like, and this isn't trying to speak ill on them or anything, it's just more of like, this is something that's there, but also challenging family members as far as like when, here at home or what have you, as far as like, if the same people who taught you to interpret whatever religious text in a way that justified slavery, don't you think that brings in their interpretations into questions about say
absolutely
queerness and homosexuality and all that? And so that's the kind of thing that I wish people, I know for myself, and again, the kind of carrying on with this what you're talking about, TJ, as far as like, like I never bullied people who were gay or like LGBTQ, like except in the part of the friend, but still participate in kind of the normalization of seeing it as other. Does that make sense? And I definitely regret all that. I regret like the ways that I've contributed to that.
And that's a huge. I'm sorry. I don't mean to speak over you.
No, and so like one of my closest friends at in college, he came out afterwards, but apparently he had gotten a lot of slack from a lot of people there. And I saw him for the first time after college last year. I'm like, yeah, dude, like I'm completely sorry. Like none of that was cool. And again, it's not even that I said anything that was like F slurs or anything like that. Just more like, but the ways as far as talking about things from like theological or philosophical perspective still contribute to that, as well meaning as you might be, as kind of sanitizing as people may want to make things be, that still also contributes to the marginalization of people who are oppressed or marginalized within groups. And so that is something that I myself have to reckon with, and I'm glad I'm not where I was, and I'm still learning. There's still plenty of things that I need to do better at. And I think in actually having studied these things, like and again, kind of getting, it's kind of like I was discussing today on TikTok as far as with, regards to the histories of Middle Earth, like the more that I read the histories of Middle Earth and learn about Tolkien, the more I learn that I don't actually know anything and that things are more complex than they actually are. The same goes especially to studying and like religion and like theological studies and all that, because the more you learn about it, it's like, oh, it's not as clear cut as anybody ever makes it out to be. There's all kinds of different things, all kinds of different baggage people bring.
No, David, you're saying that like people's lived experiences change texts that have been written? No, no, that can't. Listen, I may or may not have watched Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes today, and I was talking to my partner, and I was like, "Oh, there's really cool themes of like, oh, this is what I was going to talk about later today," and then we didn't because I was getting ready for this. But I was like, it's really cool how like Noah is the name of the main ape in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Welcome to TJ's really drunk on Tolkien on Tap. Noah is the main ape, and they're talking about. Well, I lost it. God damn it.
That's
No,
actually
because
really
there's
good.
it's about teachings. It's about teachings. About how like so for those who don't know, spoiler alert for a movie that came out last year. Raka, I believe, is the orangutan who teaches Noah, the champion bonobo, about the teachings of Caesar that have actually been passed down. And for those who have watched the series, know that Caesar like meant apes together strong means like apes working together can't be overcome, right? So there's this ape played by Kevin Durand, not Durant, Durand with a D, like the what a
The guy,
wonderful day.
the guy who plays the Blob in that shitty
Yes,
Wolverine.
yes. Yeah. I just love how he goes, "What a wonderful day."
Mhm.
It's so good. It's so fun. The cadence is so good.
It reminds me a lot of Immortan Joe from Mad Max.
Yes. But it reminded me a lot of, and I've lost all of my thoughts.
No, basically how like the people will take the teachings and then twist it
Thank
for
you,
their
thank
own
you,
power and
thank you.
domination.
Because
And
like Caesar, if you watch the first three movies, Caesar was all about like coexistence. Caesar goes, it doesn't matter if we're different. Like
Yeah.
we want to coexist because this world doesn't survive without everyone living coexistingly. Like this is just what it is. Like apes have gotten smarter. Yes, humans are still smart. They exist. Let's all work together. And so now this is 300 years in the future. I think it's 300. And there's this like ape king who was like, I am Proximus Caesar, and apes together strong means we can break down this wall and get the humans guns, like, which by the way is like a very shallow meaning for a film, but
that's great.
whatever.
I honestly love, as someone who's a fan of the old ones, I
Me
love the
too.
old ones just as much. And
Me
like
too. Like
honestly, the weakest film in the series is probably the first one to me.
Of
And
the reboot.
yeah. But
Really?
yeah, and that's honestly because of James Franco.
Really? Okay.
That's the main reason.
But John
like,
Lithgow.
but I honestly I loved this last one and the one before it. I loved a lot because of that, and also I know we were speaking earlier on the live today about comic ties. The comic tie-ins by Marvel.
Oh, I didn't know there was comic tie-ins.
Oh, they are so good. They are so good.
I straight up loved this film. I don't know the comic tie-ins. I don't know. I know a little bit about like the backstory.
So I should say
things.
The comic tie-ins came out like maybe 5 years prior to Kingdom, but still they're so good. Like it just the immersion of that world from like the reboot universes series is like, oh man, like it is so it doesn't help that the person who is writing these comics is probably one of my favorite contemporary writers for comics, David F. Walker.
I feel like I've heard you talk about him before.
He's so good. Like I am always so pissed that he does not get the amount of work. So basically he wrote the black version of Batman, which is Nighthawk for Marvel back in, was it 2014, 2015?
No, the black version of Batman is Azazel, right? No, Azrael.
No, because Azrael's still white.
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
In
I
Batman,
thought Azrael was
in Nightfall?
I thought Azrael was black.
No. Batwing is, but he's African.
Okay, listen. Full disclosure. I read some Batman comics, not all of them.
So,
I watched a movie from DCAU. And Azrael was black, and I was like, yeah, hell yeah.
I mean,
and then so wait, is he not supposed to be?
I'm more familiar with the Nightfall version of Azrael. as far as like from back
in
when Bane breaks his back, who takes over. But I'm talking about more of as far as like the equivalent, as far as like he's a billionaire or millionaire who is black and has a suit, and it functions just like Batman does in Gotham City, but in Chicago instead, is the version of Nighthawk that David Walker wrote, and it goes into dealing.
From 1979. His name is Timothy Jace Fox. Oh, Lucius's son.
Batwing, or
no? Lucius's son becomes a Batman.
Yeah, that one's from that's from Future State.
I'm thinking about a movie I watched.
I believe that's the Future State one. But the one I'm talking about is from. Did you ever read David F. Walker's Nighthawk, Zay?
No, don't even know what that is.
So I was just talking to, because TJ is bringing up Planet of the Apes, and the writer for one of the tie-ins for it is David F. Walker.
Oh, it's Azrael, is also known as Michael Lane, is depicted as an African American character. Was he not always?
Yeah, I still have yet to see Kingdom.
Because I'm more familiar with Azrael, Azrael, right?
Azrael, yeah.
It says that he was introduced.
Michael Lane.
No, I'm thinking of like his name is something Saint something is the white guy of Azrael.
You're thinking of someone else.
Batman.
You're thinking of someone else then.
No, because that's the Azrael who in Nightfall takes up Bruce Wayne's mantle of Batman when after Bane breaks his back and he's out of commission.
Michael Lane has been around since.
The character Michael Lane might have been around, introduced in the 70s, but he may have not taken on the mantle.
All right, hold on. Michael Lane Batman. I'll look up then.
So look up Azrael first. No,
yeah, I'm actually on the Batman wiki. So hold on. John Paul Valley's the first Lane.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Michael Washington Lane is a DC Comics character who first appeared in Batman number 665 as the villain Bat Devil. Ooh. I'm gonna just shut up and let you two talk.
Yeah, Jean Paul Valley. That's the one who took on the mantle of Batman, because he was Order of Saint Dumas, and so he took over for Batman during Nightfall when after Bane breaks his back.
Okay.
But then he kind of goes, if I recall correctly, he kind of goes crazy, and then he eventually becomes Azrael.
Yeah, I've only seen Azrael in action in animation. Welcome to Tolkien on Tap. I'm TJ. I'm drunk.
Yeah, it wasn't until 07 that he became Bat Devil, before later becoming Azrael. But Nighthawk was basically a Marvel Comics version where, what if Batman was black, that David F. Walker wrote, and it dealt with it was the colorist.
Oh shit! Yeah, Batman 665 is 2007.
Yeah, and so the colorist was is it Tamra or Tamara Bonvillain, who's also a trans woman. She was the colorist for that. It was excellent, probably like the premier colorist of comics, in my opinion. And that came out, and that book dealt a lot with like police brutality, because it was released around within the context of Mike Brown being murdered in Missouri. And and so like that was, and the crazy thing is the day the first issue came out, the book got canceled, and it was so well written. So that's the shitty part with comics industry, is that pre-orders. So if anyone listening, if there's a comic artist or writer that you really want to support, or book that you enjoy, make sure you pre-order it, because that's how, or just any books really, whether it be comics or just novels, make sure you're pre-ordering it, because that's how they're able to get incentivized to get actually more deals and get more money to see that.
Yeah, they want to gauge on like future projections and not like actual sales.
Yeah. What was the name of it again, David?
Nighthawk. David F. Walker was the writer. It was 2014, 2015 is when it came out.
So if we were to talk about, let's go back to scouring. Actually, it doesn't have to be scouring, because there's a lot. There's even, we spoke about sleeves earlier, and there's not a whole chapter, but there is a large portion of a chapter dedicated to Aragorn letting slaves free and saying like, how do you guys feel about that? Because like as I say it out loud, I go, oh, it doesn't feel good to say like, hey, you're free, fight with me if you want, but you don't have to, but fight with me.
I'm trying to remember what
It's
part.
it's
Return of the King, right?
Yes, Return of the King when the Dead Men have done Harrow. It's the only thing the Dead Men have done Harrow actually do in the books. They go scare the Corsairs of Umbar off their ships, and then Aragorn with the Grey Company goes onto the ships and frees all the slaves and says, "You are free. If you wish to fight with me, you may fight. If you wish to go home, you may go home." That's about all we know.
Well, judging from that, I mean, it's still honorable of him to even do that. He gave them a choice. Like, well, it seems like going into that whole,
Does
he's
it
giving
feel
them a
like? Does
chance
it
to.
feel white savior-y though?
I mean, I don't. It's hard because I don't think the people enslaved on the Corsairs of Umbar necessarily were they black coded, because I don't remember.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't really
coded.
give them a skin color code.
So I wouldn't necessarily. It's rather white saviory in that regards. I feel like it's just kind of more of like what Zay's saying, as far as he gives them the choice. Like they're not obligated to actually help them. It's not like what a lot of people, some people in the Union Army did, as far as like, oh, we say we're liberating you, now you need to fight for us, fight for your family, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like he didn't really say, like, even though Tolkien didn't even go into that detail about how, oh well, I freed you, you're that means you belong to me now, you have to fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't go that far.
Oh,
so
dude, Aragorn is 100% the opposite of what you just said.
Exactly, and that's why I feel like it's more honorable for him. Like he gave them a choice. It all ended up with that choice. If you want to stay, that's fine, because you never know, that might be all they know, and they might want to serve him because you just gave them their freedom. But then you got some that probably that had homes they could go back to, families. So yeah, it was all about the choice. It was. I'd never, even though during that part of the book, I never thought about, if it's like, him putting them into servitude and, saying, fight for me, fight for me. I never got that vibe, because we know by this point who Aragorn is. He is the next king of Gondor, who's going to reunite the kingdom, but he's going to do it with compassion and fairness. So I never got that vibe off of him. So in that moment. So
I was asking because, like, as a white person who my so I'm of Irish ancestry, which means my people were indentured servants, not actual slaves. I feel like I can have an opinion, but like it has no weight next to people whose ancestors were like literal fucking slaves, were fucking straight up whipped for shit.
I mean, I
it's one of those things where I'm like, am I overcorrecting? Like, I don't want to.
No, I mean, I don't think I am. No, it's not.
I am, because like I just want, like, at this point in my life, like this happened in like my late 20s, early 30s, where I was like, I just want everyone to be treated nicely. I know that like I'm gonna and I know I'm gonna go through like points of discomfort, because there are things I just don't know that I have to learn. And it's gonna be a really difficult learning process when it's my ancestors who did shit wrong. And but then I have my dad in the back of my head going like, yeah, but we're Irish, like it happened to us too. Yeah, motherfucker, but we were white the whole time. We were white the whole time it happened.
Remind me too about message me to remind you to send you some very good actual Irish historian background in regards to relations between people who were still living in Ireland.
Yes, please.
And their reactions to seeing Irish immigrants in the Americas turning to anti-blackness.
Yes, that's good.
Because I was following him on Twitter back in the day, and his stuff was very useful. And basically, he's a major figure in debunking the whole Irish were slaves myth.
I mean, they were, but also like nowhere near the extent that black people were.
well, more of the Irish were slaves the same way black people were. Type
No,
of,
they
as
were
far
not.
as
No, absolutely.
yeah,
No, they were
because
not.
the way
No, they were
the
not.
time that Irish were slaves was like back before, like in the High Middle Ages, late antiquity type of period. It wasn't even
Still not the
same.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that he was combating is like
Listen,
basically a lot of
Yeah,
those.
until they are ripped from
real
their
quick,
homes
hey,
and have their
David.
culture stripped away, then there's no way in hell you are
Yeah.
going to sit here
David,
and try
real
to
quick, as a white person who like knows like slightly below the surface of the tip of the iceberg, no,
Yeah.
we were not
No.
fucked the way
Yeah.
the black people were fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, I'll remind me to message you because I'll send you some links to his blog at the very least because he goes
at the end of this, David, I would like for you, without the www, obviously, just like if you could find like the condensed version, if you want to say that, and I'll put it on every episode. I'll put it. I'll link it on every episode. And either of you, if you have like some really good resources.
So I'm gonna message you. His name is Liam Hogan.
David, can you do me a huge favor?
I'm texting it to you right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need you to also give me the context because I am inebriated.
No, basically he was a librarian and historian in Limerick City, and he basically
in Limerick City. Okay.
Like he's actually Irish. Like
yeah. Sounds like it.
If you ever go to like Ireland and you tell anybody that like, oh, I'm Irish too, and you're American, like, yeah, everyone in America is fucking Irish. It's hilarious to see.
Hey, listen, hold on, motherfucker, hold on.
No, I'm not saying that against you.
David. David.
I am just saying
David.
that is.
This is Whitey's time. Hold on.
It's always been Whitey's time.
Let's No, but for real, it's always one. Listen, all right. No, I feel terrible for saying that now. David, would you like to own my podcast? Because you can own it now. No, but there was a point to this story, and it was funny, and then we started like really jabbing at each other, and now I can't remember. This is unfortunately one of the episodes where I blacked out and I woke up in a bathtub. I will put in the description how to reach David or Zay if you'd like to continue the conversation. Thank you all for coming back. Almien.